Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Bappy Hamed and in this particular video we'll be discussing another amazing data types inside Python called tuples. We can also call this data structure inside Python. See, as of now we have seen so many topics inside Python. We have covered different like data types like integer, string, boolean, right? Then we have also seen like list, and finally we'll be also discussing about this particular tuples. So here we'll be discussing this particular tuples in detail. So make sure you are watching this particular video till the end. And I think after that, there won't be any kinds of doubt inside this particular tuples. So what I will do, I will open up my code editor and there I'm going to explain this particular concept. So guys, you can see tuples is nothing but a tuple in Python is similar to a list. That means the list actually data structure, or let's say data types you have learned. Okay. So tuples is also similar things. Okay. Like your list. The only difference actually you can see between this particular tuples and list, the difference is that we cannot change the elements of a tuple once it is assigned, whereas we can change the element inside a list, because we saw like list is a mutable. That means you can change item there, you can add item there. Okay, it's possible there, but inside tuple actually it's not possible. Okay, inside tuple actually you can't change any kinds of item, you can edit any kinds of item. Okay, this is what actually we call it as a immutable. Always try to remember tuple is a immutable and list is the mutable. This is the only difference. Okay, and everything, whatever concept you have learned, you can store multiple data types inside a tuple, you can store duplicates inside tuple, you can do the indexing operation, you can do the slicing operation, everything whatever we have learned inside list, everything can be performed here. Okay, so here you can see I have listed down some of the characteristics. Like in short, a tuple is an immutable list. A tuple cannot be changed in any way once it is created. Some characteristics you can see, it's an ordered collection. Like the list we saw, again it's an ordered collection. Unchangeable ordered collection means like it should be ordered collection. It's a 1 2 3 3 to 1, it won't be working. It should be also 1 to 3. Let's say we're taking two tuple 1 is equal to 1 to 3, tuple 2 is equal to should be 1 to 3. That means it's an ordered collection. Okay, it should not be in ordered collection. It's unchangeable because we saw like it's a immutable one. Okay, immutable data type, you can change anything here, and allows duplicates as well. You can also allow duplicates here. So in this particular tuple concept, we'll be discussing these are the topic one by one in detail. Like we'll see like how we can create a tuple, how we can access the items through the indexing and slicing. We'll see the editing item, adding item, deleting item. Okay, then we'll be learning different operations on top of this particular tuple. Then we'll also explore some of the tuple functions are available. Okay, then one more things actually we'll be learning called typecasting. Okay, we'll try to convert, let's say, tuple to list. Again, list to tuple. Okay, this kinds of typecasting, it is also possible here. Okay, that means whatever list function you have, everything you can also use inside tuples as well after doing the conversion list, like let's say type conversion. I will discuss this particular part, no need to worry. Let me first of all discuss all of them one by one, then I will also show you this particular part. Okay, it's a very amazing things actually I usually follow if I want to add anything inside a tuple. Okay, so the first thing, let's try to see how we can create a tuple. So guys, if you want to create a empty tuple, so you can create like that. You just take a variable, let's say t1 is my tuple. Okay, t1 is my tuple, and inside that I'm going to create an empty tuple. You can see, if you want to create a tuple, you need to use this particular parenthesis. Okay, you need to use the parenthesis. And whenever I was to create a list, actually I used to use this particular square bracket. I think you remember, L is equal to square bracket I was to take. All right, but whenever actually what you creating a tuple, you have to use this particular parenthesis. Okay, now see, if I print this particular t1, and if I print this particular type of t1, you will see that it's a tuple. Okay, it's a tuple only. Just select the kernel. Yeah, now guys, you can see that it's an empty tuple. There is no value inside this particular tuple right now, and it's a tuple object. You can see it's a tuple object. So the data type actually you can see it's a tuple. I hope this part is clear. So this is called empty tuple creation. Now let's try to see how we can create a tuple with a single item. Okay, so let me give you another example. Let's say t2, and here I'm going to create a tuple. Inside that I'm going to just mention a value, let's say Bappy. Okay, let's say Bappy is one item inside this particular tuple. And now see, if I print this particular tuple t2, I will also print this particular type. Okay, type of this particular t2. See, one thing I just wanted to show you, this particular things actually everyone do the mistake in interview or whenever they also do the coding. So this is like super important concept, always try to remember. That's why I'm showing you. See, if I just let's say print this particular t2, Now just pause the video and let me know what would be the output if I execute this particular program. See, let me show you. If I execute this particular program, see, although I have created a tuple, okay, although I have created a tuple, inside this particular tuple, I'm having one item. But whenever I printed the type of this particular, let's say, object, that means tuple, you will see that it's a string. It's telling it's a string. But although, see, you can see I have created a tuple, I've taken this particular parenthesis, but still it is considering the type of this particular data is a string. Why? Because see, Python always actually tell you whenever you are assigning any kinds of tuple and you are only keeping one item inside that particular tuple, you have to give one comma. Then this should be considered as a tuple. See, if I execute this particular program right now you'll see that it would be a tuple object. Okay, it would be a tuple object. But if you're not mentioning this particular comma, it will consider as a string. It would be considering a string or any other data. Let's say instead of a string, I will give any integer type data. Let's say 54. Now see, it will be integer type data. If you give any floating value, it would be considered as a floating type data. I hope this part is clear. Now let me get back. I'll also need to give the comma. Fine. I hope now this part is clear. Now it will consider as a tuple. Only make sure if you are storing only one value, make sure you are using this particular comma. Now apart from that, there are some way actually we can define the tuple. Let me show you all of them one by one. Now guys, you can see some way actually we can define the tuple. So the first one, you can see it's a homogeneous tuple. Why it is homogeneous? Because you can see I'm only storing only one type data, which is nothing but integer. And if you're storing multiple data type in a tuple, it would be considered as a heterogeneous. The same thing we have learned inside our list as well, right? The same thing actually we can do here. Now you can see this is my homogeneous tuple. This is my heterogeneous tuple. This is the nested tuple. That means inside a tuple you can create another tuple. Okay, and you can mention as a item. That means the element. It will also work. Now you can also use type conversion. Okay, type conversion to create a tuple. Let's say here I've given hello. It will convert this thing as a tuple. Let me show you. If I execute this particular program, see, this is the first output. This is a homogeneous tuple. This is a heterogeneous tuple. This is a nested tuple, and this is my type conversion tuple. That means hello. Each of the character would be considered as my item inside this particular tuple. Okay, this is what typecasting. This particular function you can use directly. Tuple function is there. Directly you can use this particular tuple function. All right. I hope this part is clear now. So let's try to remember these are the way actually you can define a tuple. Okay, inside Python. Now the next thing we'll be learning about is accessing items inside a tuple. Again, the same thing. We have learned this particular concept inside our string, inside our list. The same thing, guys. The same thing, not any change here. That's why I told you Python is why it's so interesting, because all the syntax are same at the end. If you have learned list, the same things you can also apply inside tuple. If you have learned string, the same concept you can apply inside a list also, right? The indexing, slicing, this part will remain same only. Now let me show you one example. Let's say this is my tuple. This is my tuple. Let's say I want to perform the indexing. The same concept you can apply. Let's say I'll just write T3. Let's say I want to take this particular one. What I will do, I'll take a new cell. Let's say I want to extract this particular one. I want to take this particular one. I need to give the index. So I'll need to give the 0. It will give me that particular one. That means again, it will assign the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And if you are giving any index which is not present, it will give you the index error. Let me show you. If I am giving 23 index is not there, it will give you index out of range error. Okay, tuple index out of range. So I'm not going to show you this particular part again, because we already discussed this particular part. If you have missed out that particular indexing, you can check out my string class as well as the list class. Okay, there actually I discussed this particular part in detail. So this was our indexing part. Now see here, this is the positive indexing. You can also perform something called negative indexing. It is also possible. Let's say I want to access this particular 4 with the help of negative indexing. I need to give -1. If I give -1, I will be able to see this particular 4. Now if you want to take this particular 3, you need to give -2. Okay, that's how you can perform positive indexing and negative indexing both here. Now let's say if you want to do a slicing operation, you can also do. Let's say I'll do one slice operation. Let's say I want to take 1, 2, 3. So what I will give, I'll start from 0 and I'll go till, sorry, it should be 0. I'll go till 0, 1, 2. That means I need to take 3 because last number would be excluded. It will give me till 3. And again, the output I'm getting, it's a tuple only. Fine. See, you can also use this particular jump parameter. Let me show you. So let's say if I give, let's say 2 here, so what will happen? It will do the jump operation. So I will take 0 to everything. If I'm not giving the 0 also, it will consider all of the item. Now see, if I execute this particular program, it will give me 1 and 3. That means 1 is printing, 2 is jumping, 3 is printing, 4 is jumping. This is the jump parameter. The same things you can use whatever you have learned in your string and list. Now let me discuss this particular editing items and deleting items, whether we can add any items inside tuple or not, whether we can delete any kinds of item inside tuple or not. So let's say this is going to be my tuple. Let's say T3 is my tuple. And now let's say I want to add any elements inside this particular tuple. So for this, what I can do, let's say first of all, I want to change anything. Let's say I want to change T3. Let's say I want to change this particular one with any other, let's say, item. Here I'll give the index, and if I want to add, let's say 100 here. If I now execute this particular program, you'll see that tuple object does not support item assignment. That means you can't change anything inside tuple because it's a immutable. It's a unchangeable. Always try to remember. That's how we can't change anything inside a tuple. It's not possible. Now, same for the deletion as well. Let's say I want to delete anything inside a tuple. Let's say I'll just write del. Let's say I want to delete T3, the first item. Let's say I want to delete the first item, which is nothing, which is 1. Now, see if I execute this particular program, it will give you del object does not support any kinds of item deletion. Okay, you can't delete any kinds of item inside that. Let's say there is a condition, somehow you have to add one item inside a tuple. Okay, you want to add something in a tuple. In that case, actually, you can do something called typecasting. I think you remember that particular typecasting concept, right? Typecasting, we can do the typecasting operation. That means we can convert a data type to another data type. Okay, it is possible inside Python. So let's say this is going to be my tuple. Let's say this is my tuple first of all. Now I showed you I can't edit inside a tuple. Okay, it's not possible. But if I want to add something inside a tuple, what I need to do first of all, I need to do the typecasting operation. So what I can do, I will first of all convert this particular tuple. Let's say temp. I'll take a variable called temp, and I will do the typecasting operation. I'll convert this particular tuple to a list. Okay. Now see, if I print this particular temp right now, it will be a list. Whatever value actually I had inside a tuple, now everything is converted to a list. Okay. Now I can perform this particular changing operation. Or let's say I want to add something in this particular tuple. Okay, it's possible. Now see, if I just define this particular temp, and if I just press dot, whatever list function actually I'm having, that means whatever inbuilt function actually you are having, everything it is coming. Okay, everything it is coming. Now you can do the append operation, clear operation, copy operation, extend operation, everything you can do. Let's say you want to add any value, you can do the append operation. Let's say I want to add, let's say 200 in this particular let's say list. I can add. Now if I print this particular list again, you'll see that 200 has been added. Now again, if I want to convert this particular list to a tuple, I can again do it. What I will do, I'll just define this particular T3 is equal to I'll just take a tuple. Okay, tuple, and inside that I need to pass this particular list. Now see, it will convert to a tuple again. So if I just print this particular T3, now see again it will convert to a tuple. And we saw that whatever value actually we added, okay, before this particular tuple, it would be also visible. That's how, if you want to add anything inside a tuple, you can do the typecasting. Okay, you can perform the typecasting, you can convert to a list, and you can add anything. Then again, you can perform the typecasting operation. That means again, you can convert that particular list to a tuple. That is the idea. Okay, this is a small hack you can follow. Okay, yes. But see, it's not recommended to perform the actually typecasting. Whenever you are designing your software, first of all, try to decide which particular data structure you will be using, which particular data type you will be using. Let's say there is a application you are creating. There is a possibility you have to edit your data. You have to add your, let's say, data. Okay, that means you will be doing the editing operation. That means you will be working with the mutable. That means changeable actually object. That time you can use this particular list data structure. Okay, list data structure, instead of using tuple data structure. But let's say we are creating an application. In that particular application, you are not going to change anything. Let's say there is not possibility you have to change anything inside that particular application. You won't be editing anything, you won't be adding anything. That time you can use this particular tuple data structure. Okay, that is why it's always recommended whenever you design the application, first of all try to decide what particular data structure you will be using in that particular application. All right, that's the idea. But in some case, somehow, let's say you need to add something inside a tuple, you can use this particular let's say technique. Okay, first of all do the typecasting, then try to add something inside this particular tuple. Fine. And here you can also change the element. Okay, after performing the typecasting, let's say you want to change this particular one with 100, you can do it. This particular temp is now list. You can perform any kinds of changing operation, deletion operation, anything you can perform. See, the same thing we have performed here now. After doing the time conversion, you can also do the same thing here. Okay, you can check it. So you can test it, okay, in your system. I think it will work. Fine. So yes, guys, this is all about our tuples. And here we have learned like what is tuple. Again, it's similar to your list. That means the way actually list actually store the data in the memory. I think I showed you the memory representation of list, right? The same way actually tuples also store the data inside the memory. Okay, I hope this part is clear. So this is all about this particular tuple introduction and all. We have seen like how to create a tuple. We have seen like edit operation, delete operation. Okay, and different things. So in the next video actually we'll be discussing about this particular operation on top of this particular tuple, like what kinds of operation actually can perform. Okay, with that guys, thank you so much guys for watching this particular video, and I will see you next time.